Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatītam Gagana Sadrisham Tatvamasyādi Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, section 61, dealing with the long dream of the world process, with the story of Bhikshu. Just to remind you how Bhikshu Brahmana was a great mendicant, lived in an ashram, given to austerity and meditation. He gained such spiritual integration in his personality and mystic sensitivity that he was led by divine plan to attain liberation. But how does the divine plan operate? It doesn't operate by the movement of the fingers. He came through the stage of samapatti. Mind was so well disciplined that even if he wanted to meditate on anything, the process became so simple and effortless. He would find himself completely communing with the object of meditation. So much so, he becomes one with the object. That's called samapatti. In that state of mind, now he enters into a dream. And in dream, he is a person known as Jivata. He lives in a city for a long time. One day, drunk, he goes to sleep and enters into dream. In dream, he becomes a Brahmin, devoted to spiritual rites. But this Brahmin gets into a dream. And dreams, he is a great king. And king gets into a dream after he has seen an apsara, heavenly apsara. In dream, he becomes himself a heavenly apsara. The apsara dreams of being a deer. The deer dreams of being a vine. The vine dreams of being a black bee. Black bee dreams of being an elephant. Again, you repeat, becomes black bee attached to lotus. And then becomes drawn to swan. The next dream will be swan, the ultimate dream. As swan, there is enlightenment. This enlightened swan brings Shiva and goes after every one of those dream personalities, dream within dream, and awakens them. It's interestingly presented episode. To understand philosophically, follow the simple simile of sun is only one. Think of the sun in countless vessels of water. Now focus on one particular vessel of water and the sun reflecting in it. That vessel is playing the role of bhikshu, the mendicant. And who is that bhikshu? Every soul, every aspirant is bhikshu. Every reflected sun, as it progresses on the spiritual path, it's like raising its head above the pot and communing with many reflected suns. Each reflected sun is within the potentiality of the bhikshu. To understand, the reflected sun of one particular jar has the potentiality of being the sun. If that is so, put it mathematically, the reflected sun relates to every reflected sun. So in a relationship, they are all dream within dream relations. And when you begin to wake up from your dream, you want to awaken all those dream personalities. In other words, when you develop enlightenment, you want every reflected sun to recognize I am the sun. Whether it is expressing itself in the form of a black bee, or in the form of an elephant, or a heavenly apsara, or all those who I have described. Now, put it in a very simple way. Ahame Vedam Sarvam. Your aham, that was confined to a little jar. Now that aham is being recognized as all illuminations, not only the illumination in a particular jar, but all illuminations of the sun are nothing but the sun. And the sun is the aham, the real aham. That aham is ahame vedam sarvam. Sun is all reflected reflections, all illuminations, no matter how tiny the illumination may be. It is the sun. So no matter wherever may be the status of the jiva is always Shiva. With that philosophical insight, we follow the story and the teaching. Section 64, the attainment of Shivahood, from Jivatva to Shivatva. Sri Rama asked, O sage, what happened to Jivata, Brahman, and the other embodiments of the dream process? Were they effaced, or did they continue to exist in the world of practical realities? Implying, Rama is asking, did those dreams become true? That's what generally people use their statement. You saw a dream, and now your mind says, is it a prophecy? Is it going to become true? But you don't realize your question is a foxy question. That even you are in this state of your questioning, you are dream within a dream. You don't know who you are. You don't know the world where you are in. You don't know many things. So you are actually in a world of illusion, like a dream world. And even if you incarnate, you go into another dream. We use the word dream in two ways, short dream and long dream. Every night you have short dream. And when you wake up, you are involved in a long dream, Dirgha Sapana. Sage Vasishtha replied, O great gentle Rama, they all became enlightened. So any jiva being enlightened implies all souls that you conceive of being dream within dream. All souls are essentially Shiva, Brahman. They existed as aspects of Bhagavan Shiva. Having seen the glory of his own Maya, Bhagavan Shiva sent the other enlightened personalities to their abodes. The story has been that Jivata Brahmana, along with Lord Shiva, visits each one of those embodiments whom I have described, from one dream to another dream, dream within the dream. And each one becomes a channel of Lord Shiva's will. Each one becomes in communion with Shiva. Each one, in brief, attains enlightenment. Lord Shiva said to them, you are all my manifestations. Just like the sun god can come down and say to all illuminations that you are all my manifestations. Believe it or not. Go to your abodes. After the exhaustion of your fructifying karmas, you will come back to my world and abide with me as ganas, as devotees of Shiva. Having enjoyed the bliss of a heavenly world, you will ultimately become one with the Absolute. Here again, you may say, why didn't they all just became Shiva? There are, from Sattvapatti state is that when Shiva communion has become complete, when there is revelation, I am Shiva. But that revelation described in a mystic way places you in a stage where you gain increasing maturity of your wisdom. Always remember, Sattvapatti state, once that has been attained, you cannot go backward, but you can go forward. And each forward step is a form of liberation, allegorically described as Salokya. Liberated one as if has gone to the world of God. The world is very vast. If you want to meet a great personality in any particular state, First you go to the state, and then you figure out an appointment. I'm joking. But that's what it means, Salokya. You are in the world where God dwells. Every now and then you can see God's palace. That's called Salokya. Now, greater fortune comes to you. You find a residence very close to the palace, Samipya. You don't have to travel fast, but just open your window and you are seeing God's palace. Now, third step, Sarupya. You don't have to look at God, how does he look like? Look at yourself. You are growing in the image of God. The image has now trapped you. And soon you realize that you are not separate. You are in the divine palace. You have been always there. All those have been illusions, like a dream. And that's called Sayujya. So all these steps are similar when you describe the 7 steps of wisdom. Shuhecha, aspiration, vicharana, reflection, tanumanasi, attenuation of all impurities, sattvapatti, pervasion of purity. And then comes asam sakti. Asam sakti was detached. It is very similar to salokya. Then it leads you to padartha bhavana. It is very similar to samipya, as well as sarupya. And finally, 7th step, turiya. You become united with God himself. So Lord Shiva told them that go to your abodes after the exhaustion of your fructifying karmas. You will come back to my word and abide with me as ganas, as attendants of Shiva. And finally, you will all ultimately become one with Shiva, the Absolute. Thus saying, Shiva disappeared from their view. The enlightened beings returned to their abodes according to the command of Shiva. Sri Rama asked, O sage, Jivata and others were seen in the form of sankalpa, thought waves of the mind, existing in the mind of the mendicant. How did they become real? How is it possible to bring life into one's thoughts? The question is, how to make your dream real? And that's how I began. You don't make your dream real, you make your dream turn into a bigger dream. From a short dream, you enter into a long dream. But in your understanding, what you saw in your dream has become real for you. You saw in your dream some glimpse of prosperity. You won a lottery in your dream. You woke up and you won a lottery. The dream became true. Is it so? No. You didn't wake up. You have gone in from one dream to another tree. But if you develop those ascending steps from Shubhecha to Vicharana, you are waking up. Vicharana to Tanumanasi. Tanumanasi to Sattvapatti. Sattvapatti, you are awake, even though the dream has not completely broken. But now the dream seems only a krida, a kind of a game. Shivashishta explains, it's the light of consciousness that lends reality and authenticity to the thoughts of the mind. Think of screen in a cinema show. It is that screen that becomes everything that projections have planned. You have projected a whole story, and in the story can be pathetic, it can be pleasant, it can be very entertaining. But behind the story, you are not seeing anything other than the screen. So it is the screen that is becoming all your actors of your story. One point here I have to understand that when we talk of screen, it is projections from a machinery. What I'm leading you to understand, the screen is not being illumined by a separate light. The screen is light embodiment. Screen is Sat, and that Sat is Chit, and that Chit is Ananda. So the screen doesn't need light from elsewhere. So that Satchidananda is the substance behind all your experiences. Whatever is seen in dream and whatever is realized as a reality in the waking state as a result of one's sankalpa is essentially the divine self. So all that you experience in your short dream and all that you experience in your long dream, all experiences are nothing but illusory modification of the absolute self. Snake on the rope. All possible developments of the world are treasured, as it were, due to the treasury of the self. So many things you want to accomplish. So many desires you want to have them fulfilled. Each fulfillment of a desire is like finding a pearl, as if you are collecting treasure. But who is the source of all this treasure? The absolute self. The screen is the source of all the treasure. When a soul is led by its vasanas for worldly enjoyments, it continues to discover diverse realities in this world process. The self that can encompass infinity and eternity is also able to discover the finite realities of the world due to an unenlightened mind. Your unenlightened mind has amazing capacity. It covers 3 stages: ignorance, avidya, kama, karma. Or put it another way, avidya, vikshepa and mala. Avidya is called avarana. Vikshepa, distractions caused by vasanas of the mind. And malas are gross impurities. Three planes, bhur, bhuva, swa. All the three planes are affected by ignorance. The dimension of your consciousness covers these three stages. Bhu, practical world, practical reality. Bhuva, sentimental world. Swa, the causal world. And the absolute reality is Satchidananda, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. That absolute reality is ever present, eternal. And for attaining that reality, you should not be trapped by the dream of the world process. But what you are here being led to understand, that don't consider anything impossible for you. Think of all the possibilities that you have when you dream. There's no limit for your dream. Led by ignorance, you are led from one birth to another, countless embodiments. How many? You can't count them. All that becomes possible because of ignorance. Now use your mental mathematics. If all this is possible while you are ignorant, how much more will be possible if ignorance is not there? You are creator of karma, and you are creating mighty karmas, positive or negative. And there is no limit to it. You are the architect of your destiny. But instead of going after your karmic destiny, attain enlightenment and discover you are omnipotent, omniscient. You are the absolute Shiva. An aspirant who has understood the essential nature of the soul should endeavor to rise beyond all worldly sankalpas in order to realize his unity with the divine self. All worldly sankalpas, Vishaya vrittis, turn Vishaya vrittis into Brahmakara vritti. That's the project of integral movement. How do you turn them? Just a simple illustration. You first assert within yourself you are a wave, but then you relate to ocean. If you are a wave, why don't you turn your attention to the ocean? You are, and that's your greater reality. You are the ocean as well as the wave. You can't just be a wave without the ocean. So the limited view, I am a wave, should dissolve into I am the ocean. And this has to happen in 3 stages. I'm pointing to Om Upasana. First stage, identified with body, you are Vishwa. A Vishwa is a wave in the ocean of Virat. in the ocean of cosmic body, your physical body identity is a wave. Then come to the next letter, U, of Om. Your attention goes into the subtle body. Your subtle body, Sukshma Sharir. Identify the Sukshma Sharir, you are known as Tejas, effulgent. And you are a wave in the cosmic mind, Hiranyagarbha. Now be ready to say, wave goodbye to this state. At the deepest level, you are causal body, you are termed as prajna, relating to the ocean of Ishvara. So all causation, this source of all things, you are. And come back to most climax revelation. All these details, they are all in the realm of Maya. There is nothing but Brahman, the Absolute. And that's what you are. Led by sankalpas, you go into so many stages of your life. You go through countless worldly stages, as well as jnana bhumikas, ascending steps. Whatever is willed by your mind can be attained by the force of abhyasa and yoga. All this is giving you insight into the role of repeated practice, repeated effort. The negative in you has been intensified by repeated effort. Positive will be similarly intensified and activated by abhyasa and yoga, which it implies integral yoga. Why are you doing your abhyasa? So that you can integrate your entire personality. When the mind, having willed an object or a condition, harbors diffidence within itself, it is giving rise to two contrary sankalpas at the same time. Taking recourse to two contrary sankalpas, the chitta is unable to acquire anything tangible in this world. One great impediment to your success is vividha of your mind. Mind having two contrary thoughts. One, you are working to pass your examination. Another, your astrologer has said you are the Shani, Saturn. So things will not go well. So better drop away from the project. So you are dealing with two stages. And this is further extended in Vedanta. Sanshaya bhavana, asambhavana, viparita bhavana. Sanshaya bhavana is a doubting mind. Asambhavana, a sense of impossibility. It's a doubting mind that now becomes the basis to create diffidence in your heart to such an extent that you come up with the conclusion, I can't do it. It is not possible for me. Impossible, impossible. And Viparita bhavana. Whatever you are gaining, considering your gain, you are thinking in a perverted way. It is not your gain. And that I give you always the example of a mirror. You see your face in a mirror. And how good you look depends upon looking into the mirror. First point to understand, whatever you are seeing in the mirror is not you, your reflection. The mirror may have some lens effect. Your nose may look very big. That's the way you want it. But mirror-based reality is not your reality. You are seeing the mirror, not yourself. So put your hand near your nose. Just don't be satisfied with what you glimpse. The subtle difference between the reality as it is and reflected reality caused by the citta. That subtle error is corrected by revelation of the self, jnana. Viparita buddhi moves away by enlightenment. Mala, vikshepa and avarana, 3 obstacles are removed. Then you have absolutely no doubting mind. So sanshaya bhavana, asambhavana, viparita bhavana, these are the negative way of directing your mind, negative thinking. Opposed is the positive thinking of the mind. The mendicant had attained purity of mind. Therefore, his sankalpa was infallible. By the force of his sankalpa, he attained Shiva through multiple forms. This point again is very profound. You might have heard of Buddhist saints who have made the declaration, or even Buddha did, that I will not attain nirvana unless I have aided every soul to attain nirvana. You have to figure that. It's not a tragic situation. If your soul has not come to realize I am the sun, then you are not enlightened. But if you are the sun, then that sun is the soul of all souls. So every soul has to be awakened to attain enlightenment. And your enlightenment is promoting the whole movement. The souls are led to different conditions in the world due to their sankalpas. Sankalpas are countless, Vishaya Sankalpa. The real Sankalpa that should generate in your mind is Sat Sankalpa. Sankalpa for attaining nirvana, attaining liberation. Sankalpa for aiding all souls. Sabko sanmati de Bhagwan. May all souls attain enlightenment. Every soul is your near and dear one. It is the self that renders their sankalpas real. A yogi develops the sankalpa for attaining the infinite glory of the self. Vishaya sankalpa is you utilize your will for perishable attainments. Sat sankalpa, you are moving towards the revelation I am the sun. I am Brahman. Yogi develops the sankalpa for attaining infinite glory of the self. He renders his sankalpa for self-realization infallibly effective by the practice of listening, reflection, and meditation. Once you have allowed the seed of sankalpa to enter your mind, sat sankalpa, you water it, nourish it, allow it to sprout and grow. How? By listening, shravana, listening to the teachings of the scriptures in the atmosphere of satsanga. Then by listening follows reflection, manana. What you have listened to, assimilate it, digest it. Do not just let it be just theory. And reflection matures into meditation, deep samadhi. Thus, by his sat sankalpa, he is led to the attainment of Shivahood. Jiva becomes Shiva. Behold the glory of sankalpa operating in divine souls. Lord Vishnu rules the earth while lying on the bed of Shesha serpent. Indra partakes of the sacrificial offerings while abiding in the heavenly world. Lord Vishnu assumes many forms for destroying the 14,000 demons in Janasthana. All these details are all allegorical. Bhagavan Krishna showed his cosmic form in the court of Duryodhana. By the force of sankalpa, a sage, though one and non-dual, can manifest in many forms. So, the potentiality of the sage is described in the form of all those deities, Rama, Shiva, Krishna, and all their powers that manifest in the world. And with this I conclude. Om. Om. Ram, 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karuna, Maharas, grace of God over all of you. Sabko Sanmati De Bhagwan. And with the blessings of Shakti, strength to continue your abhyasa. Bhakti, having a delightful support for you to triumph over your challenges in life. And mukti, liberation. Shakti, bhakti, and mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.